Change has come. It's at the door. Everything that was true isn't true anymore. In our hands is a broken crown, and the wars that we lose mean freedom now. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Let's dance into battle, start a revolution, turn the heartbreak into evolution. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, from the ashes. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Keep marching on. 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 Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again.
The plan for living life, playing the game of life. Rules to the game of life. You will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, only lessons. A lesson will be repeated until it is learned. Learning lessons does not end. There is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you. What you make of your life is up to you. Life is exactly what you think it is. Your answers lie inside you. You will forget all of this. You can remember it whenever you want. Mastering ourselves, being our best selves. My power, my control. Mind, body, soul, which is thoughts, wills, the things you say, and emotions. Principles: learn, grow, teach, help. Foundation: love, health, wealth, happiness. Rules: respectful, safe, responsible. Being a champion, one day at a time. Having accountability, accept responsibility for actions and performance. Culture, living our values, mastering ourselves, body, mind, soul. Excellence, being our best selves by efficiency and productivity. Leveling up in life, showing up for yourself, focus on yourself, core values, decisions, goals, and behavior. Live by, no excuses, take ownership, empower yourself to do better and be more for you. Many are here to help us be the best version of ourselves through learning and development. 2, I'm willing to do the work and you are willing to do the work. The first step to empowering you is creating a structure that helps you eliminate excuses through clarity of responsibility and process. Being a champion to create winning is by having a desire to be the best version of yourself and empowering you to do so daily. Having a better world that is a champion world is that it takes all of us. Everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, which is inside of us all and all around us. What is your energy? Low vibration or high vibration? Low vibration. Empathy, victim, helplessness, blame, negative self-talk, worry, hatred, anger, fear. High vibration. Hopefulness, courage, acceptance, happiness, self-love, gratitude, positive self-talk, trust, knowledge, abundance, forgiveness, unconditional love. Mastering ourselves. Lust, intense desire or craving, greed, excessive selfish desire. Gluttony, excessive consumption. Pride, excessive self-importance. Sloth, laziness, empathy. Envy, desiring what someone else has. Wrath, extreme anger. The unseen laws, spiritual laws you must respect. Core unseen laws. Law of reciprocity, which what you send out, energy, thoughts, actions, returns amplified. Law of authority. Spirits only respect those who know who they are. If you're confused, they dominate. Law of resonance. You attract what matches your vibration. Purity equals clear outcomes. Law of timing. Some doors open only in divine timing. Forcing it equals punishment or delay. Law of spiritual debt. Every lie, scam, or shortcut leaves a karmic invoice until it's paid by pain or repentance. It blocks flow. Law of access. Sharing sacred things with unworthy people gives dark forces access to you. Guard your spiritual intimacy. Law of sacred exchange. Don't ask for something from spirit world without giving something. Prayers, food, fire, service, truth. Law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. All thoughts and deeds echo in the spirit realms. Everyone will get exactly what they choose. 3D earth. Fear, division, anger, control, hate, AI. 5D earth. Love, unity, peace, freedom, healing, consciousness. This is the great awakening. I don't think people realize how much strength it takes to pull your own self out of a dark place mentally. If you did that today or any day, I'm proud of you. Welcome, I'm Alisha Quinn, and today we are going to be talking about the plan that I have in the beginning of my podcast. We're going to go through that and discuss it a little bit, discuss my vision that I got in 2023 that really goes along with this plan to maybe help people to understand this. But, I came here for this. I'm here for a new beginning in this world. And it's not just me, it's all of us who do it. That everything is vibration and frequency, and we all have the power within us to be a part of the change in this world. And so, as I went through starting my healing journey in 2023 and came to denouncing the church, I did that the end of May. It kind of unlocked something within me, and I started really seeing my life a whole lot differently. Just really started evaluating even my life and experiences. I was preparing for the major surgery that I was going to have. And so I have this life death kind of thing going on and things like that. And so I really went through a lot during that time of losing my life and what was going to happen with the people left behind and stuff. And so then I got this vision that I was here for this. I was here for something bigger, right? I was going to be here for this, which really gave me the security of that surgery just being an experience that I was going to go through and have. But in the middle of the summer of 2023, I get this vision. And it was really more of a feeling. And that's the thing that if you're on that wavelength of getting messages and things like that, that sometimes it's more of a, because it's vibration and frequencies, these energy waves, right? And that sometimes we have to interpret them in a human type perspective and way. But when I got this, it just made me cry. Truly, it made me cry. And the best way that I came to interpreting this to explain it is that when you take rats, they take rats and they cage them individually. And they give them a choice of water or heroin, that they will choose heroin every single time. But when they take the rats and put them in a community of rats, even so, they'll do the same thing. They'll give them a choice of the water and heroin, and they will choose water every single time, even if they have to overcome that addiction of the heroin. They will choose water. So, with having that type of vision and explaining it on, say, a human terms, is the separation that we have from one another, the divisions and those energies, right? Because sometimes we're afraid of people hurting us. We put up these guards, right? And that's really like the rats in the individual cages, the holding on to stuff. the lack of forgiveness, the lack of letting things go kind of thing. And when we're in that mode, we turn to things trying to fulfill us and give us happiness, like drugs and sex and food, overeating, binge eating, emotional eating, distractions, TVs, and just all these things to distract us from finding our own happiness and fulfillment within ourselves. So now we take the rats in the community of rats, right? So there was something that I had to build, which truly, since our world is in here, pushed out, it's not this, and that's truly the thing I do believe that a lot of people are coming to realize is that it's this pushed out here that we can blame this, but this is just a reflection of this in here. So so there was something that I had to build, right? That came from within me. And I really came to this place of everyone being in their place. And when you take the rats in the rat cage, is that they each have a place. They each have something they're doing, right? This ebb and flow of working together in this community of rats, right? And so that is what I had to build within me. That number one is that we're all a soul and everything else is secondary. That there is no need to put anyone above me, coming down to an equal playing ground, and that it doesn't matter what someone is doing, what, say, their qualifications are, their education, or anything like that, that we are all equal, okay? And that we're just playing a part. And so I really had to come to process that and to create that within me. That it doesn't matter that Donald Trump is the president, okay? That he's not above me. All I can do is take what I can learn from him and grow on my spiritual evolvement. That's it. All that he's doing is living his own story out, playing his own role, and he can do nothing more than what we collectively allow him to do. And that is an example of coming to that equal playing ground, that we are all one. And we are just playing our parts in this divine orchestration, a script playing out. And that people are at different levels. They're in different categories, in different territories. Now I take my car to get an oil change, and they can do something that I can't do. Does that make them better than me? No. It doesn't make them better than me. It makes them where they have their skills and their abilities to do something that I can't, and they help me with that, right? They're helping. And see, when someone goes in there to do such a thing, to become a mechanic or whatever, and most likely they have some knowledge and interest, right, in it. But see, they can teach someone to do what they're doing. And so that's really part of that process that I came up with, is that everyone has their place and their part. And it doesn't matter if they're a doctor. See, I can learn something from a doctor. And all that's going on is they have decided to be a doctor, and they have gone through the process to get themselves there. That's it. So when I took that kind of concept and really what did it for me was the job that I got. The fabric samples, right? That I had to look at it that everyone was in their places there. And that it didn't matter how long they've been there. It didn't matter if they know how to do something that I don't know how to do. You know, sometimes sewing machines, you know, you got to have someone come and look at it after you've dealt with it. You know, the strings keep breaking or something, and sometimes I tell you what, sometimes it's just like you got to get that energy exchange with someone, and that's just a reason why they come over. I tell you, and I found that in different types of situations, that for some reason you just have to have this encounter, and it's just the reason, it's just the cause and effect of for you to have an energy exchange. But it doesn't make them better than me that they can come over there and maybe fix something on there that I can't, you know? And what about the boss man? Well, he's not any better than me either. He's just in his place. He's just playing his role. And that's how I really looked at it. I, learned to keep to myself and be concerned about Alisha, not being concerned about, other people if they're running late, if they're going to break early or coming back late, or if they're getting up to go to the vending machine, 3 or 4 times a day. That's not my place. That's not my place to manage them. It's not my place to be concerned about what they're doing. I'm concerned about Alisha and what Alisha is doing. And Alisha goes in there and puts her best foot forward on doing what I'm meant to do there, what I have signed up to agree to doing, right? And I manage myself. And I don't worry about stuff. I don't worry about it. When I leave there, it doesn't even exist. I'm not concerned about it. I'm not giving my thoughts to this place. It's not my business. And the ones that do, that's on them. And if they feel they need to do that, that's on them, right? I don't need to lay there in bed at night, be concerned about this issue or that issue going on with the place or how we can do things better. There's someone being paid for that. And there's someone who has their place to be, concerned about, well, let's look and see if people are coming in on time and clocking in on time. There's people there to see if people are running late, right? And they're the ones who have to take the action to do so. That is not my place to do so. Now, if it was my place to do so, it would change things for me, right? Now I'm in a different position, a different place, a different category. So now, yeah, it would be part of my business to see, like, okay, now I noticed this person coming in 5 minutes late from break every single time. So now I'd have to take some action with that, right? So when I looked at this bigger picture, how do I create this bigger picture of the world view kind of ordeal was when I looked at it, see, there's a brand name up here, right? That everyone is working for a common goal in this place for, right? Getting these fabric samples distributed out, right? You got the people who are ordering them. You got the people, so then you come into the place, you got people cutting them, sewing them, cutting, whatever, um, and ticketing them, right? And then you got the people over who are picking the orders, and then you got people who are bagging them up and shipping them, right? To the places. So everybody kind of has their place of running this thing, ebb and flow, right? It's like a community thing. We're there, we have chosen to be there, and we're doing this thing, right? So when I looked at that from the worldview was and the game of life. So what would be the overall goal for the world to be, what would be that goal of having this experience here in this world? What would be the overall goal? Some came to win and some came to lose. What's the overall goal for humanity here? Which was brought to me of mastering self, mastering that flesh, mastering those emotions, not reacting, right? Mastering the self. And so that's really the process that I came down to is mastering the self. And that's what we're here to do. That everyone isn't at the same spiritual level. So, and some have spent lifetimes not working on themselves, not mastering themselves, not learning their lessons, which causes karma, right? All the stuff they're holding on to, and then they die and they come in for another round to try to figure it out. They signed up for it. They have soul contracts, and everyone has a ascended master's contract. And so that's kind of how I have come to view things, is that everyone has their place and their purpose in some sort of way. And really even coming down to that everyone is enlightened. Looking at everyone as though they are enlightened because they're at the level they're at. If they're not growing, if they're not learning and they're going through the same cycle and they're stuck down here, you know, it just might be that I am there to teach them something, but I can also learn something from them as well. And that's what I've truly come down to is that people are not my enemies. They are my teachers and my helpers. And I am to do nothing more than to learn and grow from them. And so that's really my vision that I have had and how I have created my plan and my path for my life, which some of the things I got, I tell you what, I was divinely guided with them. I never, I never had heard or knew anything about the game of life and the rules of the game of life kind of thing until a couple years ago. But when you start searching within yourself for the answers, they come. They come. They find you when you start doing that inner work and start searching for those answers for you, for your life, for your journey. And so, this plan is nothing to tell you what you have to do, what you have to deal with, because everyone has their own things. See, if you were a smoker in your past life and you didn't take care of your health, right? And you had a stroke and you died because you didn't take care of your health. And now you got to come back in, you got to deal with that. And here you are in the same cycle of smoking and really not taking care of your health. See, that's something for you to deal with. That's something nobody's going to do for you. That you have to come to, like, following through on what you say you're going to do. Like, okay, I'm going to back off here. I'm going to go through a process. I'm going to back off. See, some people can just quit cold turkey and walk away from it and leave it. And so the thing is that whatever it is that you individually have to deal with, it's up for you how to figure out how to deal with it, including making peace. Okay, let's talk about peace. See, it's up to you to figure out how to get a perspective and what you're going to let go of, any limiting beliefs that you may have to create peace within you. Because no one's going to create peace for you. And so, it's in there to take that ownership and that responsibility, right? That ownership over my mind, my body, right? So we're going to go ahead and just start looking at the plan and talk about it. And I do have one last slide in it that I added into this that I will end up re-recording to set as my new beginning of my podcast. But we'll go ahead and take a look at this and I will talk more in depth on it. All right, the plan for living life, playing the game of life. The rules to the game of life. You will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, only lessons. A lesson will be repeated until it is learned. Learning lessons does not end. There is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you. What you make of your life is up to you. Life is exactly what you think it is. Your answers lie inside you. You will forget all of this, and you can remember it whenever you want. So, receiving a body. We are given a body for our consciousness to experience this life and this journey into. And really, it is up to us only to take care of it. That we have to even like look within us of what is it that I'm meant to do to take care of my body. And so, see, some people they eat different things, right? See, some people can't eat gluten, right? That's just an example. And so we have to look inside of ourselves for those answers that this thing doesn't make me feel good. I don't need to put this in my body. And we have to find those answers for ourselves. That is not a general type thing of taking care of our bodies. And it's very interesting because I did read a health book about someone who was involved in the White House staffing and things, worked there, and they decided to take this journey of working on this health and nutritional type thing, and they don't have any answers. They don't have the answers for everyone here in America because each person is individual. They cannot control truly what you put in your mouth. They can advise you, but you're the one who has to do it. You're the one who has to decide, I'm going to take care of my body and be my healthiest self, or give in to all my desires and impulses and eat whatever I want, even if I feel like crap. So, that is something that it is up to each one of us to figure out what is it that I want to do. And there's many things. I mean, when you look into health stuff, I mean, there's people that, have gone 5 months only eating watermelon, not drinking any water. There's people who, eat apples for 21 days. They only eat fruit. They don't drink any water and stuff. So the thing is that if you've been eating junk food and stuff, you got to make those steps. You can't, I mean, maybe you can, but, you got to decide for yourself. You could say, I'm going to cut all this out and I'm going to only eat fruit. Or you could say, I'm going to go through a process here and, I'm going to make this small goal. I'm going to stop eating crap food and on and on, and then there's exercising your body. But the thing is that the answers are inside of you. Just because something works for someone else doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. You have to be that manager of your body and that decision maker of, okay, you know what? This is something that I can do, that I can tolerate doing, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to set in this healthy habit of consistently doing this one thing, whatever it may be, because you might have things that you got to give up that you feel are unhealthy for you. See, I find it amazing that some people will get cancer from smoking and some people never do. And I do believe it is that mindset when somebody is like, it's okay for me to smoke and this is something for me to enjoy doing. This helps me to, calm down from stress. See, some people that works for them and they're okay with it. Whereas some people will be like, this is bad for me. I need to quit doing this. And those are the people that, if you're doing that on anything, I mean, you always hear yourself And every time you're doing it and you're like, oh, I need to quit this. And, I've had my own, smoking marijuana issues. And that was the thing that it was like, I need to be okay with doing this or let this go and stop doing this. And so, whatever you're doing, you got to be that decision maker and decide, hey, this is okay for me. So you could be like, hey, you know what? I'm not going. See, some people will be vegetarian, right? But they'll eat meat like once a month or maybe once a year, like a steak, right? They could be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be vegetarian. I'm not going to eat any meat, but I'm going to eat meat once a week or once a month or once a year, kind of thing, right? So you have to be that decision maker. This game is a free will game. You got to decide. But if you're doing something that you're like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, this isn't healthy for me, or whatever, then you got to be that one to discipline yourself and make those changes. So you will learn lessons. Well, there's a lot of lessons to learn in life, right? And so sometimes we go on these cycles of repeating the same lessons because we are not learning and growing. And that's truly something I've gone through most of my life, right? And looking for people to tell me what to do and how to live. And that's, part of this is taking that ownership over my life and myself, my body, right? And learning those lessons. See, you might end up in a situation where, if you are complaining, you have a situation where, you know, it's time for you to break that cycle and you gotta stop with the complaining, and just, well, life is good for me. And so it's all up to us to figure out what those lessons are, because one of the rules are your answers are inside of you. And so out here is just a reflection, that mirror, your learning lessons, whatever it may be. And so you're the one who has to decide, when you are walking down the street and someone comes up and says, hey, I think you're cute, and they want a booty call. See, that's called lust, right? See, now you got to decide, am I going to give in to this sexual desire or am I going to control myself, control that desire because I'm better than some booty call, right? So we all have those learning lessons. And you know what happens when you give in to those things? You end up in a whole nother situation and it cycles again and again. And so they will repeat until we learn them. See, we all signed up. We all have a contract that we signed up to learn certain lessons of this life. But we have to look within us to figure out what are those lessons that I need to learn. So, and as you learn the lessons and you keep going, you overcome that lust, you overcome that complaining, and you just keep on moving up. There's, also generational curses that we came here to break as well. And so, we have to be the ones to determine what those are for us in here, but really observing our life because everything's a mirror and a reflection of us and figuring out like, well, what is it that I'm supposed to be learning here from this experience, right? So those answers are all within us, and life is exactly the way what we think it is. So see, when you're thinking everything's against me and it's terrible, and why are people doing this to me? See, that's a cycle that we end up on. But when we change it and be like, okay, this is for me and I'm learning from this. Why would I choose to go through this? What am I experiencing here? And truly look within those answers, within self, because we're here to master the self and then be like, okay, you know what? This is happening because I have something that I gotta let go of, I gotta overcome, or whatever it is. So, and you will forget all of it, and there's things that we do forget, right? We forget things and then, but when you ask, you can remember it, even past lives. So if you want to know about past life stuff, ask, ask, but be careful what you ask for, you know? I will tell you that. So you can remember it whenever you want. So mastering ourselves, being our best selves. We have a choice. We have a choice to say, I'm going to take ownership and responsibility over myself, and I am going to work on mastering me because no one else is going to do it. And as I change, this will change out here for me. See, when people push your buttons to get you to react, but you stop reacting, see, there's something that's happening there and it will change. And God, source, universe, whatever you want to say, has a way of removing that, however, way out of your life when you are the one overcoming that and not letting your buttons be pushed. So, what's in my power and my control? It is my mind, my body and my soul, which is my thoughts and wills and emotions. So, when you go into the mind and that your thoughts, play a role in your reality that comes about, then, those fears, oh, I'm afraid that the person I'm with is going to cheat on me, right? When you're repeating a story, oh, my last girlfriend or whatever, she turned a lesbian, and then you get another one. See, you're creating that. You are the one creating those things, and the people are just playing their parts for you. And so, but once we take that power and say, this might have happened before, but it was because of me. That takes a lot of responsibility there, right? I was repeating this story. I was afraid, and they played their part for me. Forgive it and let it go, and change the thoughts. And when you think like, oh, what if this happens to me again or whatever, you got to say, nope, that's not happening to me again because I've changed. And so we have to be the ones to change the mind, change the thoughts. And the ego mind has that way of that doom and destruction. Well, what if this happens? What if this happens? And that's why when we come down to truly being present and being in the moment, observing our experiences and in, going through the experience of it, being in the here and now, that we don't need to worry about the past. The past is gone, it doesn't exist. And the future doesn't exist, it hasn't come yet. So when we come down to here in the moment of what am I experiencing, that's when it's like, I got everything, I'm safe. Nobody's hurting me. Nobody's doing anything against me. Here, let me set my thoughts on good, positive things. Because if we can focus on negative things and have them play out, well, what if I focus on positive things? Let's watch that play out instead. So, the body, we have power over our own bodies to take care of it. And so nobody else is going to truly do that for us. We are the only ones who can take care of this body. Alisha decides, am I going to walk today or am I going to lay on the couch today? Am I going to eat a healthy salad and eat some fruit, or am I going to eat candy and chips and junk food? We all have the choice, and we got to master self, which is part of being disciplined and saying, no, I'm not going to lay on the couch. I'm going to get my butt up. I'm going to go for my walk. And so you have to be that master of self. And that's what this plan is about. And the ones who are not, guess what? That's on them. They reap what they sow. They will go through whatever they go through because of not taking care of themselves. And I'm a prime example of that. I haven't made the healthiest choices. I haven't, but now I've learned and I'm growing from it and I'm making those changes, and only I can do that. Nobody's going to be able to do it for me. So let's go to the next one. Principles, learning, growing, teaching, helping. Well, I think that's pretty plain and simple. So, whatever is going on, learn from it and grow. And, sometimes I'm in a situation and I'll be like, this is just a test, Alicia. This is a test. You know, this is a test for you. And this is a test to see that you are going to do what you said you were going to do. And then helping and teaching others. See, the thing is that once you overcome that thing, I quit smoking marijuana. Now, if somebody wants to quit smoking marijuana, I could say, hey, you know what? I let that go and I started working on me, right? Or whatever it is. See, when you are going to overcome a bad habit, you got to place in a good habit. And really, that's what it's about, is making those better choices for ourselves to learn and grow and master selves. And, we come up to being able to teach and help others as we do master ourselves. And, like I've said, there's people at different levels. So there's people I see and I'm like, well, they're way, way up there. They're doing, but, we got to have those people there to say I can get there. I can get there. It gives me, I can keep going in this game of mastering myself to not be attached to people, places, and things. And sometimes those things are, I mean, they can be material, they can be even like food things, right? Especially when you talk about health and your body and stuff. And, another lesson for me to really learn is that number one is that I don't have to be perfect. And number two is that we could spend our whole day and our whole lives working on all kinds of healthy things we can do with our bodies, but there comes time to enjoy life too. And that's the truth of it. So, yeah, we could do 20 things to help our health and well-being, but maybe that's unreasonable for our time, that maybe it's more reasonable to do 10 of those things or even 5 of those things. So we have to be that decision maker. We have to be that master of self and deciding, hey, see, some people, they'll say, nope, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning works for me. I have time for myself and whatever it is, right? But for some people, it might be like, nope, I got to sleep until, 6 or 7, right? That everyone has to master themselves. They have to be that decision maker. They have to decide when you get into the placebo thing. And I know that they say that, the earlier you go to bed before midnight, the better quality sleep you get, which could be true or could not be true. But, people have to really find those answers within themselves. That this isn't, something to say, you got to do it this way and you got to do it that way. We by mastering ourselves and taking our power back, we got to be that decision maker. We got to be the one to say, hey, you know what? For me, going to bed at 11 and sleeping until 7 is the best thing for my life. And that's just an example. So we got to be that decision maker, take that ownership, whatever it is. So, foundation, love, health, wealth, happiness. So, that is the foundation of having love and health and wealth and happiness. And that all begins right here, right? Loving everyone as ourselves and taking care of our own bodies, having that abundant mindset right here and having that happiness for us. And the rules, respectful, safe, and responsible. And those are the rules that I live by, to treat everyone with respect, respect myself, being safe, making safe decisions, and being responsible. What is it that I'm responsible for? So again, that's up to each individual to decide. So being a champion, one day, taking one day at a time. So, and this is the thing of, do we want this world to be like that champion world? I mean, I've seen plenty of videos where it's like, oh, we're going to send you to Earth. And, it's like, oh God, but we can make this a champion world, in fact, where souls want to come here. Souls can be like, yeah, I want to go there. I want to learn some things. I want to experience some things because of there's so many opportunities for me to learn from an experience. And there really is when you truly look at it that way. So, accountability, accepting responsibility for actions and performance. So, that means if I yell at my kid, taking that responsibility for that, apologizing, taking that accountability for whatever it is. If I am supposed to be somewhere at a certain time, be there on time, right? Being responsible for those actions. Culture, living our values, mastering ourselves, right? So that's what I have come for, is to change the culture. And this culture is mastering ourselves, our bodies, our minds, and our souls. And everybody has their places. Everybody is where they're at. Everybody gets to be that decision maker. And they get to decide, am I going to master myself? Am I going to take care of myself or not? Okay? But that's the culture that I'm living in, is it is about mastering ourselves, our bodies, our minds, and our souls. But everyone has their own journeys and their own experiences. Doesn't mean that I'm better than them. It doesn't mean they're better than me. So, excellence, being our best selves by efficiency and productivity. Okay, so I got to decide what is best for me and my life. See, some people, they can go where they don't clean their house for 2 weeks, right? And this is just an example. But see, for some people, they want to clean it every week. They want to clean it every day, And I've done different styles of cleaning where, I just do a room a day, or, once a week, doing a big clean, But some people can say, oh, I'm only, say we got to be that self-manager of what am I responsible for here, you know? So then leveling up in life, showing up for yourself. When you say, I'm going to go out and walk today, and you do it, that's showing up for yourself. Focusing on yourself. See, I'm concerned about Alisha. I'm not concerned about what the neighbor is doing, unless it affects me in some sort of way. If it affects me, well, maybe there's something I need to work on, whatever it is. It's funny because I had this dog here upstairs for a time, and this dog would bark all the time, like all night long. But it was truly a time to work on myself, and not be bothered by it. I could have gone and complained about it, right? But I didn't. And I just don't let it bother you, you know? Don't let it bother you. And then one day, it's gone. I don't know what happened, but there is no dog there barking anymore. Seriously. So, being focused on myself and not being concerned about what other people are doing or not doing. That's none of my business. Core values, decisions, goals, and behavior. So, having those, making those decisions for myself, setting those goals. What kind of behavior do I want to have? That when we come up to free will, is it okay for me to say bullshit? See, that's a decision that I got to make, Is it okay? Or is there a problem with me saying bullshit? And so we really have to, come to making those decisions for ourselves. Smoking, right? Smoking is one of those decisions that we can make. And so people have their judgmental issues, but we got to be self-manager and say, is it okay for me to smoke? Or is this not okay for me to smoke? I'm not going to be a smoker. So living by no excuses. Well, using things as an excuse, Well, I'm going to go walk today, but I'm kind of tired today. I don't feel like it. See, no excuses. Go out and do it anyways. And if something major happens, which yeah, I took a little fall here like a month ago where I hit my toe pretty good. And, I did go out and walk, but then I did take a break from it for like a day or two, but just to rest it and let it heal. But, I was okay with that, So whatever you're doing, truly you got to come to being okay with it. But being consistent in your actions and holding yourself accountable. So, taking ownership, right? Same thing, living by, empowering yourself to do better and be more for me, that I'm doing this for myself, not anybody else. I'm doing this. I'm going to eat healthy because I feel good eating healthy. I'm not doing it to impress somebody else. And so doing my life for me, not for anyone else. So many are here to help be the best version of ourselves through learning and development. Two ways. I'm willing to do the work and you are willing to do the work. So I can put this information out here and you can listen to it, but and that's the thing of you being that decision maker. You could decide, I don't want to master myself. I'm going to just be lazy. Well, you will reap what you sow you know? But there are many here to help us to be that best version of ourselves. That there's always something more that we can learn from, grow from, evolve from. And, you know, when you do that, you got to let certain things go. But there are many here to help us with that. The first step to empowering you is to create a structure that helps you eliminate excuses through clarity and of responsibility and process. So, take that as you will. You got to eliminate your own excuses. You got to have the clarity of your own responsibilities for you and your life and whatever process that you want to go through for whatever you have to deal with. Being a champion to create winning is by having a desire to be the best version of yourself and empowering you to do so daily. So, being our best selves is that decision that we make daily. My best version today, and empowering myself to do so daily. That means reading things that are going to help empower me, listening to things that are going to empower me to be my best version, looking at things that are going to empower me to be my best version. And having a better world that is a champion world is that it takes all of us. So we all play our parts. We all play this part. And so, we really have the power to make this world a champion world by doing that inner work and working on mastering ourselves to be that best version and not being concerned about what anybody else is doing or not doing, that it's on them. They have the free will to live how they choose. And everything is a energy, vibration, and frequency, which is inside of us and all around us. So when we keep on yapping that all these terrible things are going to happen, don't be surprised when they show up, that's on the world stage or in our own lives. And it has an influence both ways. What is your energy? Low vibration or high vibration? So low vibration is empathy, victim, helplessness, blame, negative self-talk, worry, hatred, anger, fear. High vibration, hopefulness, courage, acceptance, happiness, self-love, gratitude, positive self-talk, trust, knowledge, abundance, forgiveness, unconditional love. So I think those all speak for itself, and nobody will help you to overcome your worry. You're the one who has to have the courage, have the responsibility, and stop worrying and have hopefulness, right? So, and start trusting yourself. Trust yourself and you trust your world and your life. So, mastering ourselves, lust, intense desire or craving. That's for us to master. Greed, excessive selfish desire. We got to be that decision maker, of how much is too much for me. And so gluttony, excessive consumption, that kind of goes with greed a little bit, but that is for us to master. And pride, excessive self-importance, right? So, sloth, laziness, and empathy. Envy, desiring what someone else has. So, these are the things that, is that mastering self, mastering the flesh. Wrath, extreme anger. See, nobody's going to help you keep your cool in a situation. You got to do it. You're the one who has to, take that deep breath and center yourself to remain calm. And we have to do it individually. Nobody's going to do it for us. And that's why taking that ownership and responsibility over yourself to master yourself. And so I can only do it for Alisha. I cannot make my kids do it. I cannot make my neighbors do it. I cannot make someone who comes in to be a mate with me do it. I cannot make anyone master themselves with all these things. We have to take that ownership and responsibility to do it ourselves, to empower ourselves. The unseen spiritual laws. Spiritual laws you must respect. Core unseen laws. Law of reciprocity. What you send out, energy, thoughts, actions, returns amplified. Law of authority. Spirits only respect those who know who they are. If you're confused, they dominate. Law of resonance. You attract what matches your vibration. Purity equals outcome. Law of timing. Some doors open only in divine time. Forcing it equals punishment or delay. Law of spiritual debt. Every lie, scam, or shortcut leaves a karmic invoice until it's paid. By pain or repentance, it blocks flow. Law of access. Sharing sacred things with unworthy people gives dark forces access to you. Guard your spiritual intimacy. Law of sacred exchange. Don't ask for something from spirit world without giving something. Prayers, food, fire, service, truth. Law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. All thoughts and deeds echo in the spirit realms. So, this has a lot of information here. This is something that we definitely need to know and learn, for me, for sure, in my life. But, law of reciprocity, that is good and bad. If you're putting out bad things, it returns. If you're putting out good things, it returns. Law of authority. If you're not going to stand in your divinity and taking ownership and power of your own life and your mind, yeah, others are going to roll over you, right? They're going to tell you what you should do and how you should live and all these things. You might have someone in your life who is there controlling you, telling you, oh, you can't do this or that. And so they will dominate over you. So once you take that ownership over yourself, your life, your reality, you will have that power back. So you won't be ruled by other people. Law of resonance. You attract it. You attract what comes into you, and that's really good and bad too. And so when you have like a clear intention, this is where I'm going, this is my direction, and you have that, you will have a clear outcome. But what happens is we end up bombarded with so many things and we don't know really what's even going on. We don't have that clarity, that pure, clear outcome of this is where my life is going. We're confused and we're like, well, I don't know what's going on. Well, that's because you got yourself so bombarded with so much stuff that you have no idea. You don't know who you are, and so it's up to you to decide. Law of timing, some doors open in divine timing. That's right. Sometimes you got to wait for something, but you got to have that faith and believe in it still. And, if you're trying to force it, punishment or delay for it. So, that comes to being that person and taking one day at a time. Spiritual debt. When you are, trying to scam or lie, it leaves a karmic invoice. You are going to pay. You will have pain or, you have to repent. So it blocks you. It blocks you spiritually. You got to deal with that. So we all do. Even I have to deal with my own stuff, you know? So, law of access. So, sharing things, we got to be careful. We got to guard ourselves with our spiritual intimacy for sure, and not being with every Dick, Tom, and Harry, See that right there is not protecting your spiritual intimacy, and sexual encounters are definitely spiritual, a form of spiritual intimacy. You got to be careful who you're with because there is an energetic exchange there, energetically. So law of sacred exchange. Don't ask for something from spirit world without giving something. So we got to give something. What am I going to give for what I'm asking for? You know, am I going to be a service? Am I going to give truth? Am I going to, help people who are in need of food or whatever? Prayers. Law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. And that's right. You know, we can pretend all we want, but we are seen. And that's the thing. That song, I always feel like someone's watching me. Yeah, somebody is always watching you. It is the spirit. The spirit realm is in us, it's all around us. And every thought and everything is out here. They see it all, they know your energy. So, good or bad. So we get to decide. And everyone will get exactly what they choose. We choose. We choose to be in that world of fear and anger and division and control and hate and AI, or whatever. Or we choose the love and the unity and the peace and the freedom and the healing and consciousness, because everything is truly consciousness. And so this is a big difference of the physical world to the spiritual world. And that's, what I really come about with that 5D earth, that it is spiritual, that, it is what's in here coming out here. Whereas, things are going to play out in the physical, right? But you got to know that, hey, you know what? I chose this. I chose this. And so we will get what we choose. If you're focused on, New World Order, they're doing this and that, that's what you're going to get. But if you focus on, I'm going to create unity and peace and have love here within myself, because this is going to change my world, my perspective, and nobody can stop you from doing such a thing. Nobody. And so this is a great awakening. We awaken to ourselves, to master ourselves. And this is our new thing, my new thing that I put in here, values and ethics. So when we honor everyone in the game of life, and that's how I live by honoring everyone, respecting everyone, showing them respect and kindness. Accept everyone as they are, as unique, special individuals. That's right. They're their own soul having their own journey and their own experiences. And sometimes it may not have anything to do with me, but remind everyone that there are no limits to life. Give everyone a sense of hope. Validate each other's experiences. Your experiences are valid, they are yours. Treat each person with dignity, compassion, respect, and unconditional high regard. Give each person choices and options, not final answers. Support the concept that each person is the expert on themselves. Now, that's one right there, is that everyone is an expert on themselves. If you want to smoke and drink, you're the expert on yourself. But if you want to be healthy and have wellness, you're the expert of yourself. That you will choose. You get to choose. Free will. It's a free will game. Everyone learns through their own experiences of others. The plan is based on self-determination. It opens the door for individuals, but it doesn't dictate their path. Rooted in the belief in equality. No one is any better or has higher value than anyone else. That's right. Everyone is just at different levels and different stages, but that we are all one. A mutual learning model. People work together to increase understanding and promote wellness. It can be complemented with other strategies. So you can learn something and implement it right into this plan. Safe and simple and safe for everyone, regardless of the severity of their difficulties or issues. All you got to do is take where you're at and go to the next level. That's it. It doesn't matter which level or which stage you're at. Based on common sense, right? Infinitely doable, always changing. The body of knowledge is always expanding and is infinite. So, we want to have whatever it is, we go to the next level, and we're always expanding. It can incorporate many philosophies or models. That's right. We can incorporate a whole different philosophy or model right into this. And the plan is a way of life. This is a way of life that I live by, that I'm focused on my life and my world on, and anyone else can as well. It's just a matter of choice. So, free will. But, this is how I truly look at life, my life, that, if you're not empowering yourself, if you're not making yourself better, that's up to you. It's up to you. I don't, I'm not going to dictate that you should master yourself, get control over your mind and your thoughts or your emotions. But, I'm self-aware that, hey, you know what? If you're griping and complaining about something, you're probably not the person I want to be around. So it's free will. And that's what this plan is all about. So let's go ahead and ask some questions and answers. Are you ready for change? Are you the change? Are you part of the solution? Are you in control of your thoughts? Are you in control of your emotions? Are you intentionally making your world a better place? And are you creating unity and peace? Because my experience, unity and peace starts right here. Right here. Nobody can make you see and have unity and peace. So my conclusion for this is that everybody plays their part. Everybody is in their place, for us to learn and grow and evolve. That when you got a lesson to learn on judgmental issues and complaining about your life, you go to church and you get to deal with people that are judgmental and complaining about life, complaining about the world and the people out there, And so we all have the free will to live our experiences as we want to experience it. If we want to think negative thoughts, then we can do that. If we want to be in the conspiracies where everything is against us, we can do that and we can live that out. But all it takes is us working on things and leveling up and changing our perspective a little bit. Life is for us, and we get to choose that everything works for us. This earth is a school. It's for us to learn and grow and evolve. And whatever story that we're telling is just a story that we're creating for our experience here. And if we don't like the experience, we don't like the story that we are living and creating, we have the free will to create a different story, renewing your mind. And that's what I have done. And so this is something that I am living by, and that it was definitely divinely given to me. This is not something that Alicia would have just come up with, you know? I had to go in to get these answers for me. And that's the thing of changing and renewing our minds. And so that's the thing is that if you want to be that religious Christian person, be that best person, follow those rules. Because every time you are acting in a lustful way, you're only going against yourself. You know, you're the one who's suffering with that guilt and that shame. You know, that's a lesson for you to overcome. You can play the church game, and it doesn't mean that everyone has to play that church game with you. And then if you want to be, someone who's going to take down the government, you can be that conspiracy theorist, you know, and that can be your purpose, be that conspiracy theorist, and you get to live that journey. You have the free will to decide what is my purpose here? How am I going to live my life? And when you go in to find out what that answer is, because it might just be that you have a soul purpose, a soul mission that you signed up for. And if you're not searching within yourself, you're not going to figure out what that is. And so we got to go within. We got to change what's in here to change out here. And so I can only see from my view. And it doesn't mean that someone else's view is wrong or different. It's just their own experience. And it's valid. If they want to be that person to take down the government, then guess what? They got to have, all kinds of a whole case against the government, right? But if you want to be that best religious Christian person or not, that you create this story, you know? And so the only ones that are not living in peace and divided from others are the ones who aren't creating it right here. That peace and unity come here. Whereas we can just go, hey, you know what? That conspiracy theorist, they're just having their own experience. They got their own story going on, and that's what they came here to experience. It's okay. It's okay for them to experience that, Take down the government. Okay, you do that. That doesn't mean that I have to be a part of that. I'm here for something different. And so the religious people, same thing, right? There's people who are living out many different stories. But truly what it really comes down to is the mastery of self. That master of the flesh. That the story is just something that is created from whatever it is that they are planning out. That if you want to be that religious Christian, master that lust. Master yourself. Live by those rules that you say that you're going to live by. Trusting yourself. Giving everyone a free will that no one's better, no one is less than you. You're not better because you're a Christian and you go to church every Sunday. Everyone has the free will to live the way that they want. And those are just the mastery of ourselves, our emotions that we have to deal with. Same with the conspiracy theorist. Not everyone has to be on that journey with them. We can choose to be on our own journey. And what is that? What is my purpose here? Of mastering myself. What's the story that I'm going to create here? And so we all have the power to create a different story and learn our lessons or keep going through them. And that's what we came here to do, is to learn and grow and evolve. And we have the free will to create whatever story we want to create from it. So we get what we put out. And so we can be ignorant about it, or we can be intentional about our experiences that we're having here. And I can only do me, and I choose my experiences here on out. I take ownership. And I implore anybody listening to do the same, because it's all within us. So take what you can, learn and grow, heal, expand, try new things. This is the journey I'm on, coming back to myself, of my senses, seeing, touching, feeling, smelling, experiencing life. And we all have that power to do such a thing. Come back to ourselves and experience life, experience our own reality. And we have a lot of ways we've checked out of reality, but we have the power to come back to our own reality and what is it that I want to experience here? And choosing that, creating that. We have the power to do that. And we have the power to create a better world here as well. So we're here for this change. We're here for a change. Old belief systems that maybe we've spent many lifetimes, playing in. We have the power to change our beliefs and go down a new road. We have the power to be the change. We have the power to master ourselves, and nobody else is going to do it for us. We can be on that straight and narrow road to ascend and master ourselves, or be on some side little game. And maybe that's where you need to be, collecting information and data. It all goes up to the divine, to the source. It's part of creation. And that's what we're here doing, is creating our stories, creating life here. And we all are a part of it. And everyone has their place of where they're at. They are either there because they want to be, or they're there because they're told to be there. But the thing is, everybody has the free will. Everyone has the free will to choose what place and part they want to play in. That, there's good things happening, and I see it in my own world. And it's just, I think as you expand, it's kind of like when you never need an eye doctor, and then all of a sudden you need an eye doctor. Now you see all these eye doctor places around. It's kind of the same thing. When you expand, then all of a sudden these places, they start popping up on you that are good for your wellness and things like that. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for having direction in my life. I'm grateful for who I am today. I'm grateful for life and experiencing life. And I'm grateful to be hopeful, truly hopeful, and trusting myself and being consistent. And I'm grateful for anyone who is listening and learning and growing and healing from me. And if you want help with healing, taking your power back, trying to implement, overcome whatever it is that you are working on overcoming, you can reach out to me. My email and my links will be in the bio. So enjoy your day, enjoy your life, because it is yours. You deserve to be your best self and live your best life. You deserve it. And when you put that focus in on you, it can change a whole lot for you. So we're going to go ahead and play this song called Here I Am. Love you.
Most people don't realize this, but we're not all living in the same reality. We're all walking this earth, but we're living in different dimensions. When you're in the lower dimensions, you believe in a God outside of you. You say things like, "Thank you, Jesus," and "Thank you, God," up there. And that's okay, because that's the level you're at. It's part of the journey. But when you go through a Kundalini awakening, when your spirit truly begins to rise, something shifts. You don't just believe in Christ, you become aware of the Christ within you. You stop thanking something outside of you, and you begin to awaken to the power that was always inside you. Christ consciousness isn't about religion. It's a frequency, a higher awareness. It's when you realize God lives in you. You see, people argue because they live in different dimensions, and they don't understand each other. Some still live in the 3D where everything is fear, control, separation. You're over here trying to speak light, truth, oneness, and they look at you like you're crazy. That's because you're not speaking the same language of consciousness. When you awaken, you rise. You begin to see the world through God's eyes, not man's. And that's why we say not everyone will get you. Not everyone is supposed to, because not everyone has risen yet. But your job is not to prove it, your job is to live it. Let your vibration speak louder than your voice. Thank you for following us at Awakening the Empaths, where truth is spoken without fear.
Out of the shade, out of the shadows, out of the haze, I'm coming out of the ashes I rise. You can run, but you can't hide. Breath on your skin, I've arrived. Here I am. Here I am. I am a king. You cannot fathom. Get in my way. Lethal assassin. I bring the pain. You can imagine nothing but flames. This is what happens. Out of the ashes I rise. You can run, but you can't hide. Breath on your skin, I've arrived. Here I am. Here I am. A force to be reckoned with. A blade you've been messing with. Oh, here I am. A game you won't ever win. It's your grave here beckoning. Oh, here I am. Oh, here
You ain't got a chance. Trying to go to war with the champ. Trying to go back, but you can't. Now it's only one king, I'm the man. Anybody wanna step to the plate? Better go and get one thing straight. I don't freeze and I won't hesitate. Matter of fact, y'all been running in place, can't run from your fate. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? So electrical, charged up, shocking every second like a billion volts. Now we hyperactive, you don't want no static. I was born for battle, finger on the pulse. Y'all paper plastic, well I go Jurassic. So far from average, running with the raptors like a slay Goliath, steady moving silence. So in other words, I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I just look at the world, such a sight to behold. Most of the stories will never get told. Been on my own for so long, I don't know what else to do, pray I don't lose my soul. Walking through fire till I'm numb to the coast. Coming for everything, diamonds and gold. Nothing to lose, all in my control. And I'm about to go savage, so don't say I won't. And I'm destined for greatness. Ain't no fabrication, ain't no time for waiting. Super fundamental, I can see them hating. Ain't a scrimmage, steady winning. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. Been in motion, this is physics. Never slowing, never getting with it. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. And I gotta wonder, really fine slipping in. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me?